What is up, guys? Coach Daniel here, coming at you from the gym on a Sunday night again. So hang out with me. Let's have a little chat. Let's talk about the programming. Like I said, I was going to make this video, so here it is. We're going to talk about the journey, which is just our programming. We're going to talk about cycle 1, which is the first cycle we're going to get into, and test week, which starts tomorrow. And again, all of these cycles from now forward build off of each other. And so we build off of the strength we created in the last one, the movements we did. And it allows for this big evolution of breaking up macro cycles into this big plan where we're always headed in some direction. There's not just a mindless thing with it all. So we're making sure we're recovering. We're making sure we're testing parts of the body at different times. And there's a whole rhyme and reason for it all. So I'm really excited about that part to offer to you guys, and it's gonna be fun. So really important thing to start off programming is creating a really strong base, a foundation that you can create your big tree out of, right? They all start from strong roots. And so that's a really important part of the programming that we're gonna start with, because we haven't had it previously with the other programming. Totally fine, but now we get that opportunity to bring it in. And so that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna use 3 lifts to get really strong on in terms of foundations. So the back squat, the bench press, and the deadlift, the staples of any powerlifting program. We're gonna use those 3 as our strength tests. We'll still do a lot of the other lifts, a whole lot of them, all of them. But the test pieces are gonna be those 3 lifts. Those are gonna be our focused strength pieces within the whole cycle that we have 15, 20 minutes just to back squat or just to deadlift. That's all we'd be focusing on during our strength pieces. So the back squat is gonna be a 5 rep max. The reason for that is that we're gonna really work on positions, endurance, and volume within it. And that's how you really start to get strong. With the positions, we're gonna be working pauses and tempos so that we understand how to initiate the squat and get all the way down into it. And even if you've been doing this for 10 years, it's always great to take a step back from everything and rebuild. And that's all this is. The best of the best do this really well all the time. And so we're gonna get into it now, which is exciting. And so if you have been thinking about you wanting to get stronger or you want to move better or more efficiently, slowing things down and treating your squat cycle or the piece that day as a skill piece, where if you're doing pauses and tempo, you're really having to think about what you're doing, right? You're not just blasting through something and just smoking yourself. So we're gonna work on all that within the lifts. So back squats, like I said, it's a 5 rep max. That starts Monday. That's gonna be fun. So really pushing that upward limits of your expression of just pure strength at the 5 rep. And so we build some hypertrophy, we build some muscle or some tendons and ligaments within the volume of it. And then from there, we'll work on getting it up to our 1 RMs in later cycles. Bench press and deadlift, they're gonna be 3 RMs. So same concept here. On the deadlift, we're trying to keep our volume a little lower because we will be doing other pulls off the floor with our weightlifting movements, so snatch, clean, and jerk. When we get into those during conditioning pieces. And also the deadlift really can smoke your central nervous system. So it's you gotta put it in there in the right place. And if we're working upwards of 1 RMs on the deadlift frequently, it's really hard to recover from that. So 3 RM, and we're gonna make it look nice with a touch and go, silent touch and go. So there's no banging it off the floor. The reason for the touch and go is because we're gonna stay loaded back on the way down, the eccentric phase, so that we really get a lot of bang for our buck within that deadlift. It's not just picking it up and slamming it back down or dropping it. We're gonna control, and this is another way to help stay braced, help that position, and for you to really feel the muscles that are working. And that's the goal in our strength pieces, that muscle or that mind-muscle connection. That is a thing. for some that believe in it. So again, back squat, bench press, deadlift, and we'll be building those every week. You won't see all three in the same week. This week you will for test week. We're gonna test all three within the week, but once we jump into the cycle, things cycle around. So I'll explain that in later pieces. But our skill work that we're gonna work on is a strict pull-up. We're gonna test the strict pull-up in multiple ways, and a kipping pull-up, and then handstand push-ups if you are into that. If you're not, then you'll have a different test for that, and then double unders. So those are gonna be the three skills that we're really gonna test and work on. Again, you'll still see muscle ups in there, you'll still see pistols in there, you'll still see the other high skill CrossFit competitor movement for those of you that want it. And you'll always have options not to do those things if that's not in your goals. So that'll always be a thing. But those will be the three focus tests. And then we have a fun bike test that's coming up tomorrow to follow your squats. A fun row test, and then an aerobic piece with some running. So you'll see those types of engine tests. And these are broken up based on some kind of energy systems. So with the bike, it's gonna be a really lactic threshold type energy system pathway that we're trying to create. With the row, kind of hitting all three, but it's gonna hurt really bad because it's a long sprint at some point. It's not a full out sprint the whole way, but you'll see. If you've done it before, you'll know how it feels. And our goal is on the row is to really improve our ability to hop on it and hit it at a really high pace, and understanding once we test this 2K, you'll see that that's what's coming. You'll be able to pace all of your workouts from that with that time. It gives you a lot of things to work with when you know your 2K time. And so we'll get into that. We'll talk about that, and it'll set you up for future success in rowing workouts in all sorts of ways. And so the run will just be an aerobic piece that's coming up Wednesday to test kind of that upper limit of getting uncomfortable on the run. So it's 800 meters each time. It's a 2-mile total. None of us like to run, some of us do. It's great for you when you do it carefully in the right way. So we're gonna test it because it's part of fitness, and it's part of something that all of us might have to do one day. And so we should be able to do it to some extent. But yeah, and then we'll have some conditioning pieces that are in there that are more like your typical CrossFit type tests. So Friday is kind of a play on Grace and Isabel, barbell cycling, but a little more interesting. That'll be a fun workout too. So as the week goes, we'll have these tests broken up based on energy system, based on the strength piece that we're doing first, if we are doing a strength piece. And it's laid in there nicely to allow for you to hit it at your maximum potential and recover for the next day's movements. That's important also. If you do miss some tests, I'll have some things out there about how to make it up. So make sure you check that out. And the goal would be to come all week, all five. You have 5 test days coming. It's structured in such a way that you can come every day. And going forward, it will be structured that way. If you're brand new and you need help picking which days, it's always nice to get the lifts in and figure out your numbers there so you can gauge progress. But to me, it's all important. So do your best to come every day. Saturday will be a makeup day. We'll have some more opportunity and open gym hours. If you miss things, come in. You could double up certain things if you're careful with it. Just hit me up, hit up some coaches about how to attack it, and we'll help you the best we can. Oh, another thing. So if you come in on just Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, it won't always be Mondays are back squat days. Tomorrow we're back squatting, but it's always gonna cycle. That way, if you do come in on just those days, you won't always be hitting the same lift or the same stimulus. It'll always cycle a day forward. So example, Monday, maybe it's a strength piece. Tuesday, maybe it's aerobic. Wednesday, it's skill and Metcon together. And then it kind of cycles through that way. So it is always revolving so we're hitting everyone's bases the best we can. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns about this. And be here. Get some sleep. Eat good food. If you need more help, hit me up. Thanks, guys.